This is the Makera Carvera Air. And I genuinely think it's like the Bamboo Labs of CNC machines. Like, I literally have a Bamboo Lab right here, right next to the Carvera Air. That CNC mill that I just showed you is the CNC mill that my living group had before I was actually sponsored. Even before I was sponsored, I was using this one literally all the time. So imagine my surprise when they reached out to me and asked if I wanted Carvera Air as part of the sponsorship agreement. So I don't take very many sponsorship offers, even though I get quite a few through my inbox. This one I genuinely did want to do though, because it's a great machine and I love using it, and I was gonna buy one when I graduated anyways. So this helps a lot. This helps a lot. Yeah, it's a great CNC mill. This machine only took about 24 minutes for me to unbox and set up, and there's only a couple of things that you need to look out for when you're unboxing. I'll go over that in a later section of the video, but you don't even need to read an instruction manual or anything to set up. It's just take out all the boxes and packaging and flick a couple switches, and that's about it. The machine is incredibly easy to use. So easy, in fact, that I get my friend Lawrence, who's a finance major, to operate the machine. All right, Lawrence, go ahead and draw what you want built on the whiteboard. Yes, you have a whiteboard, I see. You drew a circle. What are you drawing? A sideways
head, body,
okay.
Legs,
Okay.
arms. Big banana. And then the guy is holding banana.
Okay, we can make that.
Like, you know, it's like on the banana.
Okay. I see the vision. I'll CAD this up for you real quick.
Do you like this perfect circle?
I do like the perfect circle.
Let me do this for you again.
You're just flexing at this point. Oh my god. We have Lawrence's Banana Man catted, cammed, and ready to go now. Lawrence, go ahead and pick up the piece of stock and load it into the machine.
I got you.
Load it in the machine, put it in the corner, and then screw it down. Nice.
This baby ain't going anywhere.
Alright, Lawrence, go ahead and open the Carvera Controller app on my computer. Type that in. So I'm going to gloss over this part of me teaching Lawrence how to use the Carvera Controller app and how to set up everything and probe the part, because I want to do it justice and give it its own section in this video so that you at home know how to use it yourself.
Tom's a great teacher.
I know. Alright, the first tool is tool 4, which is this end mill. Let me grab it for you. Probe complete. Tool 4, M6. Awesome, it's in there.
What do I do now?
Close the lid and click run, and it will go. You have to there you go. Oh, turn on the vacuum too. The Carvera Air is great in the sense that it's fully enclosed, and it has a hole for a shop vac to connect to it, so you don't have to worry about dust getting out all over the place. So at this point, Lawrence and I just leave it running. We left the room. We low-key just went to grab McDonald's. And yeah, I mean, I trust this thing to run. I've run the machine overnight a couple of times, and nothing bad ever happens. It either just stops or you break a tool. Some other fun perks is that it has a quick tool changer, auto probes and levels itself, and that it has like really high accuracy. So pairs well with 3D printed stuff, so less than like a 0.01 millimeter spindle run out, which is really good. Pop it open and vacuum it up. It's done. This one's cool. Alright. One last step is to go over to the Dremel and use this to cut it out. Cut the tabs that are on the back. Free the part. So while Lawrence is cleaning up the part, I'll tell you about some other benefits it has. It has a closed loop stepper, and it also has a 4th axis and a laser module. I usually use it for things like aluminum, but it can do things that are like weaker than aluminum, like wood and plastic and brass. But overall, a versatile machine. Very cool. With the Banana Man keychain. Look at this close-up shot. Enjoy your Banana Man.
Yay.
All right, so now that Lawrence has finished his Banana Man keychain, I want to tell you about what unboxing and setup looks like, the quirks that I didn't mention during the time lapse but exist, and you need to be aware of it. It's literally like, this is like the most important thing. If you're in the US, flip it to the left. If you're in a country where your voltage is not 120, then flip it to the right. It comes default to the right, so if you're in the US, you have to remember to flip this to the left. It's a little red switch in there. The way the quick tool changer works is you pull down this lever and then you insert your bit up here, and then when you lift it back up, it clamps down. The way the vacuum port works is it's just a hole. There's a bunch of 3D printed files online for doing like an adapter to your shop vac. This is for air, if you have air compressor, just a standard hole. But I'll leave a link to a 3D printable thing that you can 3D print for your shop vac here. And this is what the back looks like. So plug in, all you have to do is plug in the emergency stop button, plug in the USB-C cable, plug in the power, and turn it on. That's literally what setup looks like. The software you need to download, I'll link in the description, but you need the Carvera Controller App. And to control the machine, there's a couple of things that you need to do. I will go over it in a second. But to finish setup, you need to take this box, take a couple screws out of this box, a couple pins, take this tool, put in this spoil board that comes with your Carvera Air, and then screw in this L bracket. This is optional, but I like using it because it helps with alignment a lot. These screws here you can use for clamping down on stock. So this is the Carvera Controller App. I'm going to quickly go through what you, like, at minimum need to know to run the Carvera Air. This drop-down menu, the most important buttons that I use is this one, switch to display manual control. X, Y, Z, Z minus is what you need most of the time. Or sorry, yeah. Z plus and Z minus are on the right side. And then device status diagnose. This is where you can turn on the probe laser, which is very useful for probing and setting up your origin. So if I click the X minus button, the tool head will jog. If I click the Y minus button, okay, let's say hypothetically I want to cut this piece of stock. Work holding works like this. You jam it in the corner, you tighten down the corner screws, and already the corner screws alone do a pretty good job of holding it in. But if you want to clamp it down even more, you can use these little rectangular pieces that come in your box and take a screw. And then I find a location where a screw can go in. So back here, a screw can go in. And now this really isn't going anywhere. To probe it, usually what I do is I take the laser module. This is the laser module and it's also a probe. And I put in the tool holder. Okay, yeah. So once I've put the laser module in, I like to go to the device status diagnose screen, turn on the probe laser, give it 3 seconds before I close out of this menu for it to turn on, and then I jog it over. So there's the laser down here. Jog it over to the bottom left, because that's where I want my origin to be. And let's say, for whatever reason, I actually want my origin to be like in the center for some reason. What I could do is go here, click set origin. I set to current position, and then I set the offsets to 0. Both of the offsets set to 0. And I click OK. So now, if I jog it somewhere else, and then I click go to work origin, then it goes straight back to where I set it. That's pretty much what you need to know for the Carvera Controller app and probing and that sort of stuff. If you want to run a job, then you go back to the first screen, switch to display file preview interface. Then you go here, open the G-code file, and then you give it a G-code file. So we have one of the banana ones. So you can upload a file. Oh, I kind of want the file. So let's say I wanted to upload a file. I go to the top left screen, switch to display file interface, open the G-code file. I click here, upload a file. I have one of the banana files. I can upload and select that. Give it a second to load. And then just like that, I can run the G-code. From here I can click the start running G-code task, and then I can click run. So what it's gonna do is first scan the work area, and then it's gonna probe the stock. So let's see what that looks like. So it's asking me to change tools and give it the probe tool. The probe tool is already in there, so I can click confirm. And then it automatically probes via this button over here. And then here it goes ahead and scans. Of course, it's not going to be in the right area. It's not going to be in the right area because this was designed for a different piece of stock. But the laser probe kind of tells you the maximum work area, which is really good to make sure that you don't like cut into your work holding or anything like that. And then the last thing it'll do is probe the thickness of the stock. And then it'll ask me to swap in tool 4, which is the end mill. So, but yeah, from here on, I can swap out this tool, put in the tool 4 end mill, and I would be good to go. Okay, you're probably wondering, how do you take your file and actually do the cam for it? So here I have the CAD for the Carvera Air like clamp part. So we're gonna go ahead and make this. Go to Manufacturer tab in Fusion 360. The good thing about the Carvera software is that it can work with different CAD and CAM softwares. So I usually do my CAM in Fusion 360. You'll need files for the post-processor, the machine, all that stuff in the tool library. I will put that in the description in a little Google Drive folder because otherwise you'll have to dig around GitHub. But yeah, usually what you do, new setup, select your machine. The machine is Carvera. If you wanted to add it, you right click and then you can click import if you needed to add the machine yourself, like you didn't already have it. So select the machine. Usually what I do is stock offset, but only until it's the correct height. So stock height is not 6 millimeters. The stock I have is 1/4 inch stock. So I'm going to add this. So now this yellow box, which is my stock, is an extra 1.35 millimeters tall. So it's a 1/4 inch. The part is only 5 millimeters. The next thing I'm going to do is select the stock box, like stock point in the bottom left. X this way, Y this way. Click OK here. Now to machine this, what I'm going to do is for this giant pocket here, I'm actually going to use the contour operation. 2D contour, select here. The tool library is in here. You can click on the CV example tools and then click the 4th tool. If you want to add the tool library, of course, the file's going to be in the description, but you can add it pretty simply by right click, import libraries, import tools, all that stuff. So toss this in here. Preset, aluminum. Nothing in tab 2. Geometries are selected in this tab. And then heights, what I'm going to do is actually to the very bottom of the stock. And then I'm going to make it go a little bit further down. So I'm going to go 1/10 of a millimeter extra. So it 100% cuts all the way through. Turn on smoothing, turn on feed optimization, turn on multiple depths. So usually their default is run it as 0.2 millimeters, maximum roughing step down. But I found that you can go all the way up to 0.6 millimeters and it will be fine. You can run it a little bit harder and it'll be fine. So clearing out this entire pocket will only take about 2 minutes. The next operation is 2D adaptive clearing. What you can do, again, select the tool, then select the faces that need to be machined down. So click here, here, here. Again, the bottom height is fine here. Stock to leave, turn that off. Multiple depths, set that again to 0.6. Turn on smoothing, turn on feed optimization, and then Nothing you need to do in linking, so click OK. This part where it roughs out all this takes only 8 minutes to do, and then the last one is one 2D contour to remove it from the part. So I'm going to click this contour from stock top to stock bottom, subtract 1/10 of a millimeter, make sure I'm using tool 4, multiple depths again, 0.6 millimeters, smoothing, feed optimization. So third part in geometry, tabs. I'm going to click number of tabs. I find for like 2 tabs is usually enough for this part. I'm going to click OK here. Yeah. The tabs don't show in the CAD, or sorry, the CAM software, but they do exist. You can see that jump in the line over here. And if I edit this and then add some more stock to the side, then you can see it. So yeah, this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to fix the setup. You can right click, simulate, and then see what happens. So it's going to clear out that part, clear out the top part until it gets to the correct face. Then it's going to start clearing out the pockets until it's the right height. And then it's going to do one last path where it clears out everything else. So go ahead and save, and then right click this, post process, change the file name to something relevant. Make sure your machine and post processor are correct. You can add it here. Again, file for the post processor will also be in the Google Drive. And then I'll call this like clamp or something, and then post it. So now I have the file, and let's go over to the Carvera Air and run this G-code. Okay, so I realized the only piece of stock I have is the one that we cut Lawrence's Banana Man keychain out of. So I went ahead and loaded it in, 2 screws here and this one clamp here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start probing it. So I'm gonna load in the laser module. And then once I've loaded that in, I'm gonna go over here, device status diagnose, turn on the laser. And then I'm going to jog it over to where I want it to start from. It's like a pretty good bottom left of where my part's gonna start. So I'm gonna click set origin, current position, this is 0. So current positions, this is 0, this is 0. Click OK. And now I can go back to the file manager, and I can run it again and look at the origin again. Alright, now it wants me to change to the end mill, so I'm going to go ahead and change. The end mill looks like this. It's this guy. I'm going to go ahead and toss that guy in here. And now that it's in here, I can go ahead and click run. It's going to probe. I'm going to close the lid, and then we'll go. Yeah, so it's just gonna cut. I'm gonna go get some food or something. It'll be done in about 15 minutes. Alright, so this is what I have. There's a couple of tabs on the back, and I need to clean up the little burrs. Okay, so this is what we got after about 5 minutes of post-processing, including cutting out the tabs and a little bit of sanding. I mean, it looks pretty good. This is certainly one of the clamps, so yeah. So that's about it. I think this machine's a pretty formidable machine for making like a lot of parts from. If you check out my YouTube channel, I think the last 5 videos I've done, I've used not this machine, but I used this Carvera Air for my last 5 videos, so you might find some interesting things on there. I built a motor using this machine. I think it's like $2,500, something like that right now. Carvera and Makera does sell a cheaper machine. They sell the Makera Z1 for about $900, which if it's as good as this machine, then I mean, it's from the same company, I would trust it. I've not tried a Z1 myself, but Carvera Air, good machine. I have a discount code in the link if you want to try doing that. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.